Now, welcome to this lesson where we are going to be looking at introduction to Git and GitHub. Objective. So by the end of this lesson, you will understand Git and GitHub, create an account and connect to your system. So very simple. So now what is Git? Git is a version control, right? So basically what it does is that it helps you control or keep track of changes in your code. For example, you write a code that does something and in the near future you would want to change it. Git helps you to keep track of the previous version and then the current version. So think of it like saving different versions of your file. For example, I have a Word file which is about letter or application for maybe steady leave or something like that stuff. And then I decide to edit that letter to change it to maybe permission to be absent from school. So when saving it, I'll resave it with a different file name, and then that will be what? A permission now. So now I already have the previous one, which is a letter, and then the current one, which is a permission. So that is what Git help us to do. It help us keep track of what the current version and then the previous version of our code. So now why do we use Git? Basically to track changes, just as I mentioned, to fix mistakes easily. So you can easily maybe fix mistakes once you have both versions available, and you'll be able to have mistakes fixed without any issues, and you'll be able to work on projects safely. If you want to work on projects safely without any issue, Git is your friend. And then you'll also be able to collaborate with others. Let's say you have a team of developers, so you can all collaborate. Each and every developer does or maybe perform a specific function. Maybe you want to build a banking system, so each and every developer has a role to play. So you all collaborate on one particular gate, and then all your source of files are being shared over, and each and every one is able to view and make changes to their codes and all that. So basically that is collaboration. So now that we know what Git is, now what is GitHub? Okay, so basically Git is going to be installed on our PC, and then we can then link it to GitHub, which is online. So now GitHub is a website where you store your code online. So the platform online or a website where we store our code that the Git help us to keep track of is what is called the GitHub. So GitHub is a website where we store or save our code for future changes and all that. So it's like Google Drive for your code. So basically that is what GitHub is all about. So why is GitHub so important? So basically it has backup of your code. So if you share code over there and something happens to your local PC, you still have it on GitHub. So you can easily share your project. Let's say you build a system and then you have it on GitHub. You can just share the link and then others can have access to it. You can also build your portfolio based on project you've already built. You can share the links to your employees, and they can follow the links and see what you've done with so far. And also work with teams or maybe team of developers, so you can work collaboratively with other developers on GitHub. So now what we are going to be doing is that we are going to be installing Git on our local PC. So we're going to be downloading and installing Git on our local PC. And once we are done with that, we then move straight to create an account on GitHub, where we're going to go to github.com and then sign up using our email and choose our username and password. So once we are done with that, we're going to open VS Code in terminal, okay? And then the next thing is we're going to clone that from GitHub and then link it to our VS Code with our username and then the various password and all that. So, and then from there we then proceed and look at what a repository is on GitHub. A repository is basically a folder, okay, where your project are stored. So just as you have on your PC different folders storing different files, same thing happens on GitHub. You can have each and every repository holding each different kind of project and source files on your GitHub account. So it keeps track of all your code and history. So basically that is what a repository is. So we're going to go ahead and create our first repository. So we go to GitHub and then we click on new repository, give it a name, and then we click create, and from there we can link GitHub to our VS Code. To do that, we go ahead and copy our repo link. I'm going to show you live how this is all done, right? I'm just walking you through this slide so that you can have a fair idea. So we then going to use the link later, and then we connect it to our project on our local PC. So by doing this, we will be set, and then we shall have Git installed, GitHub account created, first repository also created. So now let's delve right inside the browser and quickly download Git, install and create GitHub accounts, and then have things link up. And there we go. So basically that. All right, so now here we are right inside my browser. So here we are going to download and install Git. So to do that, navigate inside the browser and type git, that is git scm, and then .com. Okay, there we go. Hit enter, and here we have Git here. Okay, so here we can download Git. So here, what we're going to do is to click on install for Windows. So from here, we're going to go through this and get the right setup for Windows. Okay, so we have this Git for Windows x64 setup. So click on that, and then we have our Git installed, Git downloaded. So now the next thing is to install Git. So to do that, what you need to do is just double click on this and then click on yes. So now here you have to pay attention for each and every option you're going to be choosing here. Is going to be very vital. So now let's click on next, and this page, leave everything as it is. And then here on this page, I think we are going to also leave it as it is. So we don't have any option to choose it. So I think we are good to go. Leave everything here the way it is. Click on next, and then here as well, you leave it as it is. Then next. So here we are going to be choosing a Visual Studio Code. So here we click on this and choose Visual Studio Code. Get default editor. I think use code inside this gate. Okay, so now we choose this option, and then we click on next, and then from here we go for this particular option here. I think this will help us create the main branch. So now click on next, and then on this page we are going to go for the recommended option, that is Git from the command line blah blah blah. Choose that as well. Click on next, and then on this page you just click on use bundle open SSH. Click on next, and on this page just allow this selected. Use the native Windows security. Choose that and make sure that is selected. Click on next, and then on this page allow this also selected. Check Windows style, commit Unix style line, and then so allow that selected. Click on next, and then on this page to allow this selected, use this particular min TTY, the default terminal of MSYS, to allow that selected. And then on this page as well, allow this selected, fast forward or merge. Click on next. And then on this page as well, allow Git credential manager, allow that also selected. Click on next. And then on this page as well, just allow enable file system caching as well. Once you have that, just go ahead and click on install. So now Git is going to go ahead and install right inside your PC without any problems. All right, so now we have Git installed. Just uncheck this and then just click on finish. So now we have Git also installed. So now the next thing is we're going to go ahead and create GitHub account. So to do that, let's open a new tab, and inside here just type github.com. So github.com, github.com. Hit enter. There we go, and then here we're going to go ahead and sign up with our email. So we click on this sign up, and here I'm already using my Google account, so I'm going to continue with my Google account. So I'm going to go ahead and click on continue with Google account. So you click on that. So it's going to use my Google account, that is the email together with the password to sign up for GitHub. So I'm going to click on this, and then from there I'll click on continue. So I think with this we are good to go. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and then sign in to GitHub using my account that I've just created. Okay, so with this I don't have to do anything again, so everything is okay here. So now I have my email captured here, my username Python mentorship/create. Okay, I think I'm good with this username. I'm going to maintain this, and then country I'm just going to go ahead and choose, let me see, Ghana. I'm going to choose that as well, and then I think this is optional, so I'm going to go ahead and click on create account. All right, so now there we go. Our GitHub account is now ready. Okay, so as you can see from here, we can then go ahead and create our first repository, and we can equally import a repository from here. But we are going to be creating a new repository. So let's take this step by step so that we have everything up and running without any issue, without any long and unnecessary commands at this stage. So what we are going to do is just go ahead and click on create repository. So from here, let's go ahead and give our repository a name. So I'm going to give it Python. Let's say Python mentorship. Okay, Python mentorship. For now, okay, I'm going to name it Python mentorship. Since I'll be doing the live session as well as the recorded version, this is a recorded version, so I'm going to call it recorded. Okay. So you can choose to name it based on what you would want to achieve. So I decided to name it like this because I'll be having other repository also for live session. I'll be creating those ones as well, which I can use for live session, as well as this one is for the recorded version as I'm doing. So Python mentorship recorded. So let me add versions. There we go. So I think this is good. So once I'm okay, so I'm going to go here and then give a description. So describe it. So I say what I'm going to type is Python mentorship recorded session. There we go. So I'm going to keep it private. So I'm going to click on this, keep it private for now. And then once everything looks good from here, let's go ahead and click on create repository. So now there we go, we have our first repository created. So what we're going to do is let's just copy this particular repository link from here. As you can see, just click on this copy button and then you have that copied. So it reads as https://github.com/python mentorship-create. That is your username, and then Python mentorship recorded version.git. That is the name of the repository.git. So let's go ahead and copy that. So once you have that copied, we are good to go. Now we can minimize this. We need to open VS Code and then clone this particular repository and have it on our desktop right away so that we can be managing our Python files inside it. So what we're going to do is let's come inside search bar here and just type VS Code, and then it should have it pop up at the top. Open it. So here, what we are going to do right now, we can close this for now. Let's click on this three dots, then we open the terminal like this. All right, so now once you have the terminal open, you should have something like this. So here, what we are going to do is just write a very simple command. Just write git clone, and then go ahead and paste that link we've just copied from the GitHub and hit enter. So this is going to clone this particular directory and have it right on our desktop. So as we manage our files inside our inside our VS Code on our desktop, we still have them also inside of our GitHub account. And then even if that of the desktop folder or directory is lost, we can still have our files right inside our GitHub account. So now you can see cloning is now done. So if you open this now, let's see on the desktop. I should have that on the desktop probably. Let me look at that. All right, so now let me see where exactly it has been kept. I think, okay, for now it is not on the desktop. So what I'm going to do is it has been cloned inside my users, inside Rush King. So what I'm going to do is I would want to navigate straight to desktop and then have it clone on the desktop. That is how I want. So I'm going to do CD and then desktop. Okay, just type CD desktop like this and hit enter. So now we are right on the desktop. So right now with this CD desktop, we are right on the desktop now. As you can see, inside users, inside the C drive, in the users account, inside Rush King folder, and now right on the desktop. We can now clone it on the desktop now. So to do that, let's just type git. And however, if you feel like where yours has been cloned already into, you would want to have it there, you can still do that. But I prefer you having it on the desktop so that you can manage it very easily. So git clone this way, and then go ahead and paste that command and hit enter. So it's going to clone it right on our desktop now. We should have it on our desktop. Perfect. So now it's now an empty repository, but don't worry, as long as you don't receive any error message here, you are good to go. So now we should have it on our desktop. So there we go. I have mine here. So let me just drag and place it here. So as you can see, it's here, Python mentorship recorded version. So now it's now empty. So now that we have that created, we need to add it right to our workspace inside of our Visual Studio Code. So to do that, let's go to File, and then from there, let's go to Add Folder to Workspace. Click on that. And from there, just go ahead and click on Desktop and navigate and locate your folder like this. Select and then click on Add. So yes, just go ahead and click on Yes to show that you trusted the folder. So now we have the folder right inside here. Okay, so now the next thing we are going to do is, at least we need a file, right? We need a file, okay, inside to write our first Python program. So to do that, right click on this particular path here, the folder path, and click on New File, and just type something like main.py, and hit enter. So now we have this file open here. However, before we can be able to run Python file inside here, so as you can see, our folder is already being tracked for now. The file is already being tracked for now. So we wait, and then we do everything we want to do. Then we then proceed and then commit it. So now what is going to happen is, before we can run the Python file here, we need to install an extension, the Python extension. So click on this extensions tab here and search Python. So just type Python in the search bar here, Python, and there we go, we should have it. So there we go, just choose this. So from here you can proceed to install. I already have mine installed, so that is why you see this, proceed to install it. So once the installation is done, it should have an interface that looks like this. So from there you can proceed to close this, and then we can navigate back to our files right now. So here we are going to write our first Python program and then commit and push it straight inside of our GitHub. Let's see how that is going to happen. So let's just bring a very simple print command and type hello world. Hello world. Okay, very simple. Now Control S to save this. So now once this is saved, now what we can do is let's run it to see the output first. So there we go, we have the hello world message here perfectly. So now how do we push it inside of our GitHub account? Right now you open GitHub and then you go to the repository, or let's go to the home page of the GitHub account, and then we click on our repository here. You can see for now it doesn't hold anything for now. So now let's go back home. Now let's navigate back to this Visual Studio Code. Now click on this source control icon here like this, and now the main.py, we need to stage changes now. So click on this plus sign to stage changes. Now let's write a very simple message here and say my first Python program. Okay, my first Python program. So once we are good with that, go ahead and click on commit. So at this level, we are going to be prompted to what? Sign into our account. So let's see how that is going to happen. So now let's click on push branch. Let's see this. Oh, okay. So I think that it's done. Ideally, at this point, you may be prompted to sign into your account. So now let me view what is happening here. Okay, perfect. So it is already linked. So now let's go ahead and check inside of our GitHub account. Let's refresh. So now let's open this now and see what's inside. So now as you can see, we have our main.py. Let's open it now. So you can see we have our hello world. Now at this point, when we were committing, should in case you are asked to sign in, just proceed to enter your email address, or probably the user name you created when you were creating a GitHub account. Make sure to follow that same exact procedure to sign in. You may be asked to authorize, so proceed to follow the exact same steps. You may be sent some code to that same email. Open your email inbox and copy the code to verify, and then you can have your file pushed straight to your GitHub account. And that verification process and signing in process is to make sure that you are the real one pushing these files inside of your GitHub account. No harm over there. So we try to do that. So now let's add a very simple line of code again. Let's add something. So let's say print, then welcome to this mentorship program. There you go. Welcome to this mentorship program. So now save your file right now. Let's So now once the file is saved, the next thing is file has been modified. As you can see, M, it means the file has been modified. So now we can then click on this to see changes. Then we pass a very simple message based on what you have to do. So based on what you have just the changes you have made. So now the changes I've made is that I've just added another line. So I'll just say added a new line. Okay, or welcome message. I'll just say a welcome message. Okay, so once I'm okay with that, I'm going to go ahead and click on commit and then click on sync changes. Yes, click on OK, and then this is going to sync the changes. And then from there, when we go inside of our GitHub account, we should have everything there up and running. So now let's navigate the files here. Let's go to GitHub account and let's refresh this now. So now you can see the new line we've just added, which is what prints welcome to this mentorship program. So basically at this point, we should have all the necessary tools we need for a successful running of this mentorship program up and running on our PC. From downloading and installing Python, downloading and installing Visual Studio Code, to downloading and installing Git, and then creating GitHub accounts, creating our first repository, and then cloning our repository, having the directory rights on our desktop, and then creating our first Python file and writing our first Python program, and then committing it and then pushing it straight into our GitHub account. So at this point, we are set and good to go. We should be ready for the next lesson, which is going to be on variables. So right now, what I would want to stress is that as we are going to be creating more files and be creating more directories inside of our main repository, know that we are going to be pushing all of them inside of our GitHub account. So now you've just seen the procedure. Whatever file we create and then we are done doing all the changes, or you are done learning and writing your code, for reference sake, push it straight inside of your GitHub account, and I'm going to demonstrate that in my next lesson. So until then, see you in the next lesson, which is going to be on variables.